Hello, everyone, and welcome to our studio. Welcome, Meir Weinstein. How are you?
I'm very good.
It's been a while since you've been here.
Thank you for having me.
No, always a pleasure. A lot has been going on.
Absolutely.
So, yes. I'm just as concerned as the rest of the community, I hope, of what is going on. A lot of, anti-Semitic, a lot of not such great things happen in our community, not just in our community here in Canada, in different communities. I think it's happening all over the world. But let's talk about what's going on here. What do you see?
I see a tremendous increase in anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
A lot of hate against Jews. I see this primarily from the left, from the so-called progressive crowd against the Jewish community. They're actually sanitizing anti-Semitism. There's actually just the other day, there was a former mayor of London, England, Ken Livingstone,
Yes.
who made the statement, it's not anti-Semitic to hate Jews of Israel.
Yes.
And then by extension, then Jews around the world who support Israel.
Yes.
That kind of feeling is going out there, and that's very dangerous.
It's growing, yes.
It's very dangerous.
Yes.
We have people such as Linda Sarsour that also sanitize anti-Semitism from the left.
Yeah.
And we have to understand what's going on, and there's a lot going on right now that the community has to deal with and has to be strong and stand up.
Yeah. I before we continue, I just want to tell you something from my own personal perspective. I've, a year ago, went back to York University.
Yep.
And in the beginning, a few years ago, we've heard a lot of things that went on, and you and I have spoken before of what was going on in the university, and, how our students really didn't feel safe and so forth. So going back in September, I didn't see anything. Like, I went to class, I didn't see anything going on in York University, and I was really happy. And then one day, not long ago, I started seeing flyers posted all over the university about Israel apartheid. And to be honest with you, it just hit me. I was like shocked, that there's a belief that Israel is really apartheid. Like, for me, it's a joke. Like, we all know it's not true, but people there believe it and actually spread that lie.
Yep.
And the reason I'm telling you this is that I was really, I posted all over, and I said, this is wrong. You can say whatever you want, but don't spread lies. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but not as long as it's hate lies. So I want to tell you that I contacted a few of the Jewish organization, not you, but a few of the organization around, and asked them, are we going to do anything about it? Can we do anything? I want to go, there and speak against. And you know what the advice that I received was? Is don't do it. Don't go. Because if you speak out, they will know who you are. And the next time you'll be alone going on the parking lot from the university, and be careful. So I was really shocked. So what they're doing really is put the fear in me that I shouldn't do anything. I should just accept everything that's going on, while they can do that. I'm talking about they, the hater, doesn't matter who you are. The haters can do whatever they like. So what do you tell our community when they are faced with, faced with such hate, just not to do anything, just to go and, hide? I don't buy that. I don't accept it. What do we do?
Well, I don't accept it either.
Good.
And we
neither
had a presence.
should anybody.
We had a presence a few years ago at York University, and we stood up, and a lot of the students, the Jewish students, rallied around that and showed a lot of courage, and a lot of the hate subsided. Since then, there has been some kind of a campaign. We don't want the JDL on campus. I'm actually banned from York University because we had a protest there. No violence, no nothing like that.
Yeah.
not one Jewish organization on campus there stood up for my right to be there. I think that's very telling. And what you're seeing right now is serious intimidation on the campus. If there's an organization, a Jewish organization that wants to have an event, a pro-Israel event, it's shut down.
Yes.
You have to do your event pretty much in a closet on campus. It's unconscionable, and it shouldn't be.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't want to spend more time on your university. I mean, it's a great university. I'm very happy there. I have nothing bad to say. Honest to God, I have nothing but good experience there. But I do see that other organizations have a lot more voice than the Jewish students, 100%. Okay, let's move on, because nothing you and I, is going to say that's going to change anything right now.
There's also a campaign right now to target products from Israel in shopping stores, food stores.
It's been like this for years.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They've increased it this time in the Jewish community. A lot of people are contacting us, taking pictures or showing what's going on in Sobeys and No Frills, Metro stores on products from Israel, on matzah, whatever. So we've been in touch with the mayor's office, Councillor Pasternak's office, the police, and the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. It's a criminal offense. There's information that we could identify who's doing it, and it looks like there's no will.
So I was going to say, if you have evidence to show who's been, putting those stickers, why is anybody not doing anything? Because I guarantee you, if it was the other way around, that if we, the Jews, were doing something like that, it would be knocking at our door in 2 seconds. So
let me give you a scenario, and I'm not advocating this, but if members of the Jewish community or any community went out and started targeting Islamic products, for instance, and started saying, don't buy Islamic products because we don't like what goes on in Islamic countries. And you know what? There's a lot of bad stuff in Pakistan and so on. And we start targeting, and we started putting stickers on. I think the police, I think the politicians, I think everybody would respond immediately 100%. And say, we got to root this out and lay criminal charges, because it is a criminal charge in the criminal code to place stickers on food products, on labels.
Absolutely.
You can't do it. It's clear.
So what do you think the problem is? Why they're not acting or doing anything now? Is it because the rest of our community is not saying much and it's okay? Why? We're not screaming enough?
I think it's no different than what you were saying is going on at York University. If we don't raise our voices, you're not going to influence anyone.
I was actually told to, not to
tone it down.
Like, you tone it down. I was like shocked,
Tone it down. Listen, there's going to be a walk for Israel, May 2nd.
Okay.
And there's anti-Israel groups that are gearing up for that. Now, this walk this year...
I was going to say, tell me what's the difference, because I've been on many walks, and there has always been those that are against Israel.
That's right. Now, this year, it's different, because the walk is not going to be from the CNE and downtown Toronto. It's going to be right in the Jewish community. From approximately Earl Bales Park, going to walk to somewhere around Wilson Avenue, come back, and they're going to have a party, nice party, in Clanton Park. I remember that park. Grew up as a kid playing football there and baseball and all that. So it's going to be there. And anti-Israel gangs right now are organizing that they're going to be, they got a house right adjacent to the entrance to Clanton Park, one of the entrances, and they're going to be gathering there. Now, you should recall that I think maybe 8 months ago or something like that, at the B'nai B'rith house, the first, that anti-Israel gangs came into a Jewish community and had a protest outside B'nai B'rith, and they're calling for the destruction of Israel. This is what they're going to be doing again in the Jewish community. They tested the waters, they tested the bathwater at the B'nai B'rith house then, and now they feel very comfortable. They're bringing in people from the United States who are known Hezbollah supporters, very public, that organized, bringing the organizer of the protest against AIPAC in Washington, D.C. He's coming here. Others are coming here. It's going to be big. And we have to be ready for that. Now, at the same time, that doesn't mean that get away from celebrating Israel at the Walk for Israel. Celebrate, in fact, flaunt the technology of Israel.
We care what they're going to say. We're just going to sing it louder.
Flaunt the technology of Israel. Say, go ahead, don't use Israeli products. Don't use our products fighting against cancer. Don't use your cell phones.
Well, that's
don't use anything.
we're not doing.
But let's stand up and let's make that point. Let's
because
make
they're
it
only boycotting, certain things that, they don't want to use. But they're not boycotting the things that they are using.
Well, they're total hypocrites, but every anti-Semite's a total hypocrite.
But it's up to us. It's up to us to say that if you want to boycott A, B, and C, boycott up to Z. Boycott everything.
And one unfortunate element to that also is that with these anti-Israel gangs, you have an element in the Jewish community, sadly, that's going to be joining them. You have some Jews that,
I don't understand.
that are part of this group.
I don't understand that.
They actually pray for Hamas terrorists from Gaza.
I know.
I've seen some gather outside the Israeli consulate saying, opening up a siddur and saying Kaddish for them. It's horrific.
Yes, I don't
It's horrific. I've sat down and spoken to some to try to see if maybe I could explain something to them. In one ear, out through the other. It's like dealing with a member of a cult.
See, the one thing is that they don't understand is when the haters, whoever they are, come after us, they don't care if you're the right or the left. All they care is that you're a Jew.
Yeah, and that Israel exists as a Jewish state. Even if Israel made some kind of a peace agreement and withdrew from territory, they don't care.
Perfect.
They don't care about anything.
Israel is not perfect. Israel makes mistakes. The politics. Hey, it happens.
But who's perfect?
Nobody's perfect, and this is the only homeland
and show me perfection of Islamic countries in the Middle East.
Oh, let's not get there.
Let's compare the technology. We have to be ready for that on May 20th, and we will be. Also, like I said, when we talk about Jews, unfortunately, who are joining with the haters, we even had an incident this week where the former CEO of the Canadian Jewish Congress, Bernie Farber, appeared before a Senate committee on a firearms registration. And he testified, and he actually blasted the Jewish Defense League. The tape is available. It's public information. And he called the Jewish Defense League an anti-Muslim hate organization that when we, in response to the massacre in the synagogue in Pittsburgh, made a statement that we would like to offer safety firearms courses for members of the Jewish community within the law, that he said that sent chills down throughout the Muslim community.
Why?
Now, let me tell you.
Well, no, why? Did he say why? Why does it got to do with the Muslim community?
He made that statement. So we're not anti-Muslim. We're not, we don't hate anyone. We just hate people who want to kill Jews and want to spread anti-Semitism and poison against Israel.
But you are for the Jews. I mean, that's
100%. We're the Jewish Defense League. It's our people.
Yeah.
We stand up for our people. And, there's an Islamic leader in the United States from one of the major Islamic organizations, CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations. And I found out about a statement because you have Islamic organizations in Canada that promote these people from the United States as well. So they're promoting what he says, this leader. And he was talking about what happened in New Zealand. And he posted a picture of him with a gun, and then he posts a video of himself advocating that Muslims should learn firearms safety, almost word for word what I said after the Pittsburgh thing. And I didn't post anything rebuttal to him because if you put it in the context of what happened in New Zealand, you understand the need for, if some maniac is going to enter your house of prayer to wipe out people, you'd like to have proper security there.
By the way, they blamed that on Israel.
They blamed it on it. I know that. But I am concerned when an Islamic leader makes a statement about firearms, and in the context,
and then a Jewish one makes it, and
not just that, but in the context we monitor a lot of different Islamic organizations because there's a history of anti-Semitism.
Right.
And there's a lot of different Islamic conferences where there are people given a platform to bash Israel and spread anti-Semitism. Some even call for an intifada in North America. Some imams are invited to mosques to give speeches, and we have these speeches that they're calling for violence against Jews. So in the context where that is not condemned in their community by people I would hope would condemn it, and it seems like Bernie Farber turns a blind eye to that, it's a double standard against the Jewish Defense League to say that we're an anti-Muslim hate group that's sending chills throughout the Muslim community. It's unfounded, and it does not exist, and it's not real. It's so far removed from reality.
But you know, it's what you're saying is about, you know, Jews taking arms, or just explain that to me a little bit. Like
we have, well, you know, definitely in the United States, they have different regulations for firearms.
Right.
You know, there's major gun lobbies in the United States.
Let's talk about Canada.
And all that.
Yeah.
But in Canada, we have laws. It's a lot more restrictive than in the United States. But I think that the Jewish community, by members of the community learning gun safety, that I want to change at least a mentality. Something happens when you take a course. You understand the severity of what this is. And I think that that education should get across, because we're living in times where somebody comes into a synagogue.
You have to learn to defend yourself. Yeah.
You know, so that's.
But they can say, you know, but then they went into a mosque and kill Muslims.
Yeah.
So I think it should apply for everybody. And that's what you're saying.
But we're the Jewish Defense League. We're not like everybody Defense League.
Exactly. I understand.
You know,
so you're just
I'm
speaking,
not saying anyone can't.
You're speaking for the Jewish defense, like the Jewish people. Okay. So why do you think, I mean, I don't, it may not be a fair question to ask you, but why do you think leaders or ex-leaders such as Bernie Farber is going against the Jewish Defense League and going to the extreme rather than, I guess, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it seems like the interest is a little bit.
He's made certain friendships and connections within the Islamic community, and these personalities I'm very suspicious of. There's you know, one person in particular who befriended Bernie and has made contact with let's say Rabbi Korupkin and other people in the community. This particular person is, I could show you pictures, buddy embracing one of the speakers who spoke at Al-Quds Day. I mean, Al-Quds Day is a hate fest to bash Israel and accuse Zionism of every single evil you can imagine. And the root of Al-Quds Day is from Iran, where the purpose is to call for the elimination of the Jewish
destruction. But Bernie's not here.
Why would he befriend people like that?
Bernie Farber's not here, and to be fair, I'm going to, you know, say something. So maybe he's actually thinking that, you know, if he befriends them, you know, things could change. Maybe doing it in a nice way, play nice. Maybe things, you know, maybe he can change their mind and things could work out, you know for better.
You know what?
I'm just playing double advocate.
You know, I know him. So, and I think there's an element there where he actually thinks that.
Okay, so before you answer, I'm just going to say that, you know, Bernie Farber is, you know, you're very welcome to come to the show and speak for yourself if you like.
And I think that's perfectly legitimate if you think you can make inroads there and it's for the betterment of the community. There's just one caveat to that, and that is, and this is the nub of the whole thing, is that if you are going to bash people who are exposing haters coming in that community, denigrating Jews, denigrating Israel.
With proof, of course.
Absolutely. We've, you know, this is all documented from, we cite the American Center for Democracy that has published credible information on numerous occasions, that if you're going to demonize those who are putting out facts.
Facts, okay.
To better, I don't know, entrench yourself within that community. But then, you know, I think it's kind of suspect when you're bashing people that are trying to show the community what's going on. I think the community needs to know what is going on. What are the threats?
We need to know.
What are you know? How come this imam came and spoke about violence against Jews? That Israel has no right to exist. I think we need to know that, and I think that if you're going to silence those voices, you're not doing a service to the Jewish community.
No, you're not.
You might feel buddy-buddy with whoever you have a relationship in the Islamic community, but you know, for whatever, maybe it's a slippery slope. Got to ask him. You could have him on the air. Go ahead.
No,
you know, I'll debate him anytime.
Well, you've heard it here. You're welcome, and I'm happy you want to debate. If he's willing, I'm willing to do it. But we have a problem. I see it, and I'm not the only one that sees this. We have a problem in the Jewish community, Israeli, Jewish community, whatever. We're not united. And if we're not united, then we're in big trouble. Because whenever we're not united, that's how they get us. We have to be united, because at the end of the day, they're after all of us. The hate is after all of it. It doesn't matter if you're left, you're right, it doesn't matter who you are. As long as you're a Jew, that's who they hate. And that's what some people don't seem to understand. The haters don't care if you love them. They still hate you.
We absolutely have to be united, and there's got to be a bottom line also. Yeah. And I don't mean a wishy-washy united. I mean, for instance, when you have people like Neturei Karta that go to Iran and call for the elimination of Israel, and they're going to be there also at the Israel Walk.
Oh, they're always there.
Yeah, they're going to be there.
Every year they're there.
So these are people you don't embrace and say,
I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them. They're just lost.
I don't.
I don't even.
I don't. They made a conscious decision to join
I know.
that side.
I don't even want to talk.
And God forbid that some of them could infiltrate into Jewish organizations and gain membership lists and information that they would give. There's actually information that some of them tried in Israel to infiltrate organizations on behalf of Iran. Yeah. And they were arrested. So, you know, there is a red line.
Karta is something that it's hard for me to comprehend. I don't understand.
Well, yeah.
I mean, even inside Israel, you see what's going on. Yep. And how can you hate your own, you know? Well, because at the end of the day, the only one that's going to protect you is your own. I don't understand it. It's like my brain doesn't comprehend. How can you go against your own people? Anybody. Like, it doesn't matter what community, or how can you go against your own people? You know what? You know, there's one thing to criticize, and that's allowed. You can criticize, you can, debate, but to actually,
We've had it since day one. Yeah. And when Israel came into being, they, from the early stages, the leadership had to make difficult decisions.
Of course they did.
You got to make a decision at a certain point. Who's with you and who's not.
But we can debate it forever because they hate us, and it doesn't matter what we give them. I mean, they'll find different reasons. So if you think it's the settlement, or it's like, it's not true. It started before. Yes. Long time. It doesn't matter. They'll find a different reason to do it. It never goes away. I can tell you, we have a few minutes. I can tell you that my parents were born in Israel. Yep. And when my father used to tell us stories that he went to, he lived in Tel Aviv, he went to grade 1 or kindergarten, they used to take, the garbage container, like the lid, and protect themselves because they used to fire on them. Yep. So, this is not something new. Anyway, I get very passionate. I apologize. I don't like anybody hating anybody, and there's no found reason to hate us, and that drives me crazy. Anyway.
One thing I can say on a positive side.
Yes, go
ahead. The Toronto Jewish community is actually a remarkable community that stands out in North America as an example.
Yes, we are.
And we have, it could be because there was a high concentration of Holocaust survivors who came here. and we got reason to have a strong Jewish identity.
No, we are.
We got.
But we need a little bit more.
We have a lot to be proud of.
Yes,
we have a lot to be proud of, and
yes,
we got a lot
do.
of work to do.
Yes, I like that. We are. I am proud of of the Jewish community here, but you're right. We do have a lot more to do. And be united, because I see also what's going on, and it's not right. I mean, we have one group here, one here, one there. We all gotta, all those groups have to work together. Correct?
Pretty much. We got to be on the same page.
You know what? You're continue doing what you're doing. Don't let anybody stand in your way. And if Bernie Farber would like to come on the show, Meir is willing to come, and that would be a great show. Thank you very much. Continue doing your work. Continue being the Jewish Defense League. Continue defending the Jewish community. I appreciate Meir always, and come back and tell us what's going on.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. And I will say goodbye to you now, and I will see you next week.